If you're anything like me, you might find yourself bored by the unrelenting stream of monotonous superhero movies bombarding you like Nicolas Cage reading his lines.
This is murder! Murder! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!
So when I was recommended The Boys by a friend, I resisted the idea for a while. I just wasn't interested in seeing another hero in tights. Don't get me wrong, I still like superhero movies, but I needed a break. I needed something different. It's like eating nothing but chocolate. It's delicious at first, then at some point you just start to feel ill and need to stop. Well, the other day I had nothing new to watch, so I put on The Boys and expected to see something fun yet predictable. And boy was I wrong. The Boys is not your typical superhero show. It doesn't really follow any of the tropes. If anything, it mocks them. The Boys was originally a comic series written by Garth Ennis, who notoriously hated superheroes. Now, I have not read the comics, so I won't be comparing the Amazon series to the book. I'm just going to go off of what I see on the screen. The Boys is a world where regular people live with superheroes. It asks the question, what happens when some all-powerful being lives amongst the ordinary? What if the Flash accidentally hit a pedestrian crossing the street? And it answers those questions in very unexpected ways. So the series follows two main groups, the Boys with Butcher, Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie, a ragtag group of regular people trying to take down a superhero. And then you have the Seven, basically the Justice League if it was run by a soulless corporation that marketed and monetized superheroes. In the Seven, you have Homelander, Black Noir, Queen Maeve, The Deep, A-Train, Starlight, and Translucent, with a couple others that come into play along the way. The Seven are more concerned with their public perception and making money than they are about saving lives. The show starts off with A-Train, which is the Boys' version of the Flash, vaporizing Huey's girlfriend by accidentally running through her. This sets up his descent into a pit of anger reserved for men in a fit of roid rage. Butcher finds him and promises to take down the heroes for all that they have done to regular people. So as to not spoil anything, let's just say that the Butcher is obsessed with Homelander like a preteen girl after being introduced to her first boy band. Butcher chases Homelander with the same persistence as a dog hunting the mailman. No world exists outside of his efforts. He comes across like an irredeemable asshole, yet he's unexpectedly likable.
You better be right, love. Or you and your dearly departed landlord are going to find yourselves on Pornhub in the fatal cunnilingus section.
Keith Urban does a wonderful job portraying the character. Butcher is the driving force of this show. He explains that the superheroes are much worse than they appear, but manage to stay out of the spotlight because of Vought, the corporation that manages most of the superheroes like Hollywood stars. The most famous and most powerful being the Seven. Vought sweeps every transgression under the rug through bribes, backroom deals, and threats. Vought's most prized possession is Homelander, who is basically Superman if he was a sociopath bent on becoming the public face of America. Let's stop for a moment to recognize how well Anthony Starr portrays the role. In a single scene, he can show his mask slip from the symbol of hope to a wretched man filled with hatred. He does this flawlessly. The viewer loves to hate him. It is truly wonderful to watch.
All right, so what happens if, I don't know, I do this?
There are no heroes in the show. Everyone exists in shades of gray. But if I had to stop and pick one, it would be the comedy, when it takes shots at political correctness. It mocks the culture in ways that are seldom seen these days.
Do girls make better heroes?
Look, no offense, I get you have your talking points, but why does it matter whether heroes have a dick or a vag? I mean, shouldn't we all just, be competent at our jobs?
I laughed so hard at times that I needed to rewind to hear what I missed during my laughing fit.
Pippi Longstocking would bite a D. That's for damn sure.
It's nice to watch a show that hasn't been sanitized with Purell just because it might offend the woking dead on Twitter. The Boys, however, does have some flaws, which played out in grown-worthy and predictable ways. This doesn't happen often, but when it does, it becomes so obvious due to the quality of the rest of the show. These moments seldom occur, so I can look past them. Season 2 promises some interesting twists with the introduction of Stormfront, a sassy, lightning-wielding hero that doesn't put up with any BS. I won't go into many details here because you are better off finding out all of these things for yourself. Suffice to say, nothing is what it seems. Along the way, the show offers nuggets of information which later grow and help expand the world in very surprising ways. Things that would have been glossed over in other series. It is no different when it comes to Stormfront. I love how the show plays with our perception of events, and just when we get comfortable, it yanks the rug out from underneath our feet, leaving us questioning what we thought we knew. The Boys is great at throwing these curveballs, and finding ways to make us sympathize with near irredeemable characters. My biggest gripe with the show is that in Season 2, it isn't really about the Boys or Butcher anymore. It becomes the Homelander show. Sure, it bounces back and forth, but their quest is sidelined a bit. This isn't the biggest complaint because there are very interesting storylines unfolding as we go. I just hope the show fleshes out Butcher and the Boys more in the future. Without them, there's no one to root for. We're just left watching supervillains pretending to be heroes. And as intriguing as this concept is at first, it will grow dull without the human element driving the story forward. Perhaps the writers are just setting the scene for what comes next. The world seems big enough that it might be necessary. If it isn't, I have a feeling we will be missing out on a lot of potential storylines. So here's my word of warning. The world won't be interesting if it focuses just on superheroes. This is a show about regular people fighting masked monsters. That's what is interesting. If you disagree, just know that you are wrong. But feel free to shout at me in the comments.
Hey!
Call your jets, Gov. It's not a hate crime.
But with all that being said, I'm excited to see what happens next, regardless of any qualms I might have. The Boys is interesting and funny, and the characters are well-rounded with their own motivations. It makes for a nice show to watch. So, if you haven't seen the show yet, go watch it. You'll thank me later. I give The Boys 2 perfect laser beams to the face. Alright, if you liked the video, subscribe, share it, and hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Now scram before you come getty food.